Remember that crazy teacher in Lehi, Utah, who was telling kids that their parents were stupid?
Most of y'all parents are dumber than you. I'm going to say that out loud.
Kids shouldn't listen to their parents, and encouraging students to keep things from their parents, like getting the vaccine.
You don't have to do everything your parents say, and you don't have to believe everything your parents believe, because most likely you're smarter than them.
All this during an insane tirade against President Trump, at one point even goading the kids to report her to the school administration, claiming they don't care.
Go title them me to the freaking admin. They don't give a crap.
Turns out they did give a crap. You and I only know about that story because some kid recorded it on their cell phone. The teacher ended up getting put on leave and ultimately fired. That teacher was only held accountable because of the student who recorded the footage. A new bill in the Utah legislature would make what that student did illegal. You heard that correctly. SB 178, a new bill that has passed the Utah State House and the Senate, if signed by the governor, would make what that student did against state law. Now, as a parent, I agree that kids, heck, everybody, could use less time on their cell phone. But is this really the role of the government? Shouldn't parents and districts already be demanding that kids put their phones away and focus on their schoolwork? Are we bringing a legislative solution to solve what's really a leadership problem? In the end, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Having cell phones out invites distractions, and worse, maybe even cheating. Remember when we used to take tests without calculators? The teacher actually had to enforce the rule that you take the test without the technology. Those days were rough. It also opens the door to potential embarrassment. Sure, kids will get into embarrassing situations, but there's also the teachers, the administrators, and the district's own reputation to look out for. Having a cell phone ready to hit record at any minute when a teacher flies off the rails seems like a good thing to me. Shouldn't we be asking for more accountability and more transparency from our government workers? The text in this bill would make it illegal for a student to use a phone in class or even anything as an extension of their phone, specifically mentioning emerging companion technologies. So say goodbye to any smartwatches, smart glasses, or smart whatever. The next time a chemistry teacher starts exhibiting symptoms of Trump derangement syndrome, students will be breaking state law by trying to record that outburst. Like when a teacher forces anti-Trump propaganda onto kids. If this bill gets signed, you and I will be even less likely to find out about events like this one. Like in Park City, Utah, where a teacher made students recite lyrics from an anti-Trump Eminem song, slamming Trump and saying that it's, quote, time to bury him. The same day this bill passed through the legislature, a local Utah County high school teacher played a 6-year-old anti-Trump propaganda piece from Al Jazeera, pushing the debunked lie that Trump's comments encouraged the pathetic neo-Nazi white supremacists in Charlottesville.
The rhetoric that Donald Trump is sharing with his base, it has sort of allowed for anti-Semitism to come up to the surface, to make it more acceptable for white nationalists to explicitly say things like Jews will not replace us.
The alt-right and white nationalists consistently use terminology that can only be described as not-so-subtle attacks on Jews.
Donald Trump's rhetoric sort of allowed for white supremacists like Richard Spencer, who, checks notes, supported Biden and Kamala. They push the lie that Trump and right-wingers are against illegal immigration because they are all bigots, just like Hitler, even making the ridiculous argument that any criticism of George Soros makes you an anti-Semite.
So the term globalist that's being widely used today to attack George Soros and other Jews is another variant of the term internationalists, which was used in anti-Semitic documents. Trump is not only sounding an anti-Semitic dog whistle to cue other people, he's making straight-out anti-Semitic arguments himself now.
President Trump has come under heavy criticism for his response to Pittsburgh and Charlottesville. He's been accused of fanning the flames by targeting specific groups through racist policies and rhetoric.
He has opened the door and given legitimacy to a group of people.
Imagine using Al Jazeera as an authoritative source for modern anti-Semitism in America today. How about letting a flat earther captain the NASA mission to Mars? He's up there steering the spacecraft in circles and shouting, "The edge is near!" The mission craters, literally, because a skewed worldview can't navigate the hard facts. Just like a biased source can't map a complex social issue that it's not part of. Not only that, but Al Jazeera is literally Hamas TV. It's terrorist TV. Why is a Utah high school teacher airing anti-Trump propaganda pieces from a terror organization's media front as an authoritative source on anti-Semitism in America today? You know, the funny thing about this is that actual anti-Semitism in America is pretty easy to find. Just look at any college campus near you for the local Gaza protesters. A real-life example happened only 9 months ago here in Utah at the University of Utah.
Live on the campus of the University of Utah, where students have gathered. Sarah, what are some of their demands?
Well, Brian, you mentioned large demonstrations.
Do you see those signs in that clip? From the river to the sea? Have you ever heard of that? That's anti-Semitism. That's advocating for ethnic cleansing. You see, those people are not interested in a two-state solution. They want Israel wiped off the map. They want them gone from the river to the sea. That's what that means. Or how about the Salt Lake PSL, Party for Socialism and Liberation, celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the October 7th massacre, calling the slaughtering of 1,200 people, quote, real courage, resistance, and steadfastness.
October marks 1 year since the Palestinian people stood up and showed the world what real courage, resistance, and steadfastness look like.
1 year ago, in this exact same spot, we mobilized in solidarity with the Palestinian resistance.
Check below if you were absent for your daily dose of anti-Trump propaganda. There's a modern face of anti-Semitism in America today, all right. But this teacher would have you believe it's supporters of President Trump, the most pro-Israel president we've ever had. Even Al Jazeera admits it. I don't know about you, but I am tired of teachers going off on political diatribes. At this point, with this and the other issues that we're going to talk about that come out of our public schools, I would rather have teachers be required to wear body cameras like our police officers. These people are entrusted with the safety of our children. Teachers should be held accountable. Maybe all government employees. If you are paid by tax dollars, you wear a body camera from now on.
New rule.
New rule. Body camera for anybody whose paycheck comes from tax dollars. Maybe not body cameras on teachers, which I don't think it's actually a bad idea. But maybe classroom cameras. Shouldn't parents be able to tune in and see what's being taught to their children at any time? I, for one, am all for it. This bill banning phones seems to shield teachers, administrators, and elected officials more than anything. Am I wrong about this? Let me know in the comments. What do you think?